This wasn't a movie. This wasn't fiction. On a cold winter night in 1978, at one of the busiest airports in the world, something impossible happened. No alarms were triggered. No shots were fired. No police were called. Yet by morning, nearly $6 million in cash and jewelry had vanished from a secure cargo terminal at JFK Airport in New York. And the most disturbing part? The robbery wasn't discovered until hours later. By then, the thieves were already gone. This was the Lufthansa Heist, the most famous airport robbery in American history. In the 1970s, New York City was not the polished skyline people recognize today. It was a city struggling with crime, fear, and corruption, where graffiti covered subway cars, streets were dimly lit, and organized crime quietly controlled the flow of money beneath the surface. Mafia families ran unions, shipping docks, and airports, not openly, but efficiently, through bribes, favors, and fear. And while tourists saw airplanes and terminals, criminals saw opportunity, because JFK Airport wasn't just a transportation hub. It was a financial artery, a place where international airlines moved enormous amounts of cash every single week. And most of that money passed through systems built on trust rather than security, with guards who followed routines and vaults that relied more on assumption than protection, making the airport a silent target waiting for the wrong people to notice. Every perfect crime begins with access. And in this case, access came from the inside, because behind the locked doors and guarded schedules of the Lufthansa cargo terminal worked an ordinary man named Louis Werner, an airport employee who wasn't born a criminal and didn't carry a gun, but who knew something far more valuable: information. Werner had access to shipment schedules, security routines, and the exact windows of time when millions of dollars in foreign cash sat inside the vault with minimal supervision. And at first he only watched. But temptation has a way of growing quietly, and greed slowly pushed him to cross a line he could never return from, as he began passing small details to people connected to organized crime, not realizing, or maybe not caring, that those whispers would eventually reach a man like Jimmy Burke, because once that information left Werner's hands, it was no longer just a tip. It was the spark that would ignite one of the most infamous robberies in American history. When the information reached Jimmy Burke, he didn't react with excitement. He reacted with patience, because Burke understood that the success of a robbery wasn't decided on the night it happened, but in the weeks before it ever began. And instead of rushing, he studied, poring over cargo schedules, guard rotations, access points, and response times, learning when the vault was full and when the airport was at its quietest. He memorized routines, counted minutes, and mapped every possible mistake, because noise meant failure and hesitation meant death. And as the plan took shape, Burke reduced it to something terrifyingly simple: enter without resistance, control the guards without violence, take only what was already expected to be there, and disappear before anyone even realized a crime had occurred. And by the time the final night was chosen, the robbery was no longer a risk, it was a calculation. And every man involved was already trapped by the plan itself.